It is so exciting to get to present to you the first ever gamified membership built specifically for Xperiencify. Now, this is a really special template, and I'll tell you why. Everyone loves the idea of having memberships because you get that monthly recurring revenue that is such a source of stability for an online course creator's business. But the challenge with memberships, if you've talked to people who have run them before, is attrition. And that means that it's harder to keep them going over time, to keep people interested, checking back in, feeling like they're making progress, that they have a reason to continue on. Because we don't want you to start out with, a nice set of members and then have them drift off over time because they're sort of losing the point. And that's why this membership is built really specifically. It does require a little more time and maintenance than some of the other templates that are available, but in order to continue to get your people in there and making big wins, I think it's really worth it. So let me show you around. In this membership, you are going to reconfigure this home page every month to keep the content fresh so that people will want to come check out what is next for January or for February. You get the idea. So the timer is up at the top so that there is a monthly mission and an amount of time to complete it in. Now we've got our standard text about this is what the mission is. You can describe what it does. And then there's actually a monthly mission accomplished attached to it. With that button, you can trigger a celebration, you can trigger an email, but there's something that says, you did it, you won this month. Now we've got some goals next, which is for them to complete the one training for this month. It also is also set up for a live call. So once they go through the training, you can have a live call in which they can have the questions and answers. You can explain how it looks for certain people. And then you can add any practice that you might want to have them accomplish as one of the goals as well. Now, all of this is something that you can customize, but as I said, the point is very much that there's something to do each month. It's valuable. It has your support and they get something done from it. Now, this is one spot where you can keep your call information. So for instance, if you have a Zoom link and it stays consistent every month, I know one of the challenges that people have sometimes with live calls is getting the right link out to people for that month. So if you want to add that here, if you don't want to have the same link every month because you're afraid people might actually pop on your calls after they've stopped paying for your membership, you can change this up every month, and then there's one place to look for that information. Now, this is an HTML block, so if you have an embeddable calendar, this would be the spot to put it. So for your membership, if we look at the whole thing over again, this dashboard is really going to point you to what's going on this month, what your goals are, how you have the information to get onto the live calls, the calendar for it. It's just all right there in one neat little package. So here's another fun little feature that is built in for you based on some of my experience with membership creators. And that is, where do you have people start? If you have an ongoing rolling membership, and you have people who are coming in 6 months, 8 months, a year after you've had other people started, what do they do? So in that case, we've set up a tab called Start Here, and this is going to be a custom page. We'll look at it from the back side, where you give people foundational information about the membership, about your methodology, and you get them started here. You can have a set of trainings that will explain those, or you can have one training. It's completely up to you, but you will get people kind of up to speed and ready to launch into the monthly missions with this section. Now, past missions is what you're going to do at the end of the month. You will take, so for instance, January's mission would have been on that homepage, right? And when it turns to February, you will park the January content onto this past missions area, and you will go ahead and allow people to access past missions without cluttering up a training area with a bunch of stuff that is over, basically. So you want that as a resource library for people who want to go back to it, but you don't want your whole training area with a lot of outdated content. And so this allows you to park everything very neatly. Next, we go on to the resources page. This is another custom page. So you might have different documents that you have people work through. You can set those all up here. You can modify any of these sections. Again, a membership is probably not your first best type of course to set up in Xperiencify. This is a little more complicated. I can give you a peek on the other side how it works, but if you've looked at any other types of membership platforms, the degree to which you can customize everything to make it look great, look on brand, and have all of your stuff really presented in a beautiful visual fashion to people, well, it's pretty awesome. So these are just different types of resource blocks that you can use depending on what you have. You can delete anything that you don't use. So if you have 4 or you have 3 or 2, you've got sections that will allow you to just plop your content in there. And then this is a forum, because probably one of the things you're going to want people to do is interact and get to know each other. And there are a lot of posts that have been pre-written for you, and you can use those in the forum section. Okay, so let's go back to this side of the course membership. And just like any other Xperiencify course, you're going to come in and add the name and your images and make sure the URL looks right to you, add the description, add your payments. You'll want an installment plan or a subscription. You would add that right here. And then this is how you come in and customize the pages, and that's in step 4. Go back to course content. So under modules and trainings, this is where we're actually going to be parking the previous month's mission. We will add those as if 2024, for instance, was the module, and then each month in the module would be the trainings from that month. In the replays, that's the section that we're going to be using to host that Start Here training. So this is where you would enter, instead of having replays, you would just use those basic trainings as the Start Here tab. Okay, so that's where all of that gets set up. Now let's go look at the home page, because that's the one that's going to change up every month. This is the home page. You can click into each block, into the edit content. So for the timer, you're just going to go into column 1, customize your timer, close that up. You can change any of the contents of the layout that's already there in this particular button. Go into column 1, all of these different elements, you can flip them open, put in your thumbnail, put in your video, put in your text, change your background. All of that is basic page builder functionality. You can edit any of these sections, as I said. In this one, you would need to just add your HTML link over to your calendar, and it should display there. Pretty simple, but again, it is extra work to redo this every month, but we think it's totally worth it. Okay, so the all trainings page, that's where I mentioned the past missions will show up. If we go to the replays, that's your start here content. Down at the custom pages, there's your resources, and you can delete any of these. You can save them if you think you might need them later. And then within each content block, if you go into one of those buttons, you can link it to a resource. It would need to be a hosted resource. It doesn't actually link to files. So many possibilities for what you could do. And then the last one that we will look at is your order form. So if you'd like to use this as your sales page, you are welcome to have everything hosted for you in Xperiencify. So that would take the place of a cart. As we looked at in the training pages, you get a video host as well at no additional charge. So if you have a website, you have sales pages, great, use those. If not, you can use this as your sales page too. You'll just come in as in any other page on the page builder and go through these different sections, tell them what's not working right now, what your solution is, tell them about your membership, what's included in it, how it works, about you, who it's right for, who it's not right for, and then the cart and room for testimonials and for FAQs. And then that gives you a self-contained sales page right there. If you don't want any of those sections, if you just want the cart, delete all the rest of them and leave your cart here, and just make sure that you add links back to your website and information about you so that they know where they came from if they leave the tab open for quite a while and are like, wait, where did I go and how did I get there? So the last thing I'll show you is that there are some automations created for you. So there will be a celebration when they first enter the membership, and then there's a celebration for when they complete the badge, which means they've completed the mission, so they get the badge for that month. Each month you can just duplicate one of these, fix it up a little bit, and then create the new one. So there is a welcome email and a text that goes out. That email, you can go ahead and change this copy out a little bit, but so much is already done for you. Make sure those are turned on. There is an automation if we haven't heard from them for a week. It will reach back out, send them an email, ask if they're doing okay, give them a link to log back in. And then each month, when the training for that month is released, there will be emails and texts about that. It will wait 7 days, check in on them, wait 14 days, let them know that the month is ending in a week. All of these are pre-written emails for you. Super easy for you to customize each of them and a big time saver. And finally, there is the badge if they hit mission accomplished. So lots of experience pieces to make the membership more exciting than just a drop of content in a place that might be obscure or hard to find. So that's why I'm super excited about this membership template. If you use it, go ahead and email us and tell us how it's going.